I'm back, and hopefully I can finish both of these. I'm just going to do little flowers. And I'm going to do the flowers in black. And I think I am going to darken this black up just a tad because I don't want anything grayish. And it's probably already darkened up some because last you saw me, I was using this paint. But it had some lighter tones and some darker tones. So now I need to test it. Let's see how dark it's doing. So that's why I have this little monster over here. So whenever I need to come in and like test something, I'm like, okay, where can I test it? I'm just gonna make a little blob right here. Little circle. Yep, that is a very dark black. Good. See that? And I need to decide what kind of flower I'm gonna make. I think I'm gonna do my brain is going, do you really want to do this? Yes, I do. Okay. I'm going to do it this direction just because I don't want it to be directly into that black. But, you know. While I'm painting just random little flowers, I will tell you guys a story. And this is a story of something that happened to me when I was young. When I was a young girl of 18, my boyfriend at the time was this neighbor boy who I knew since I was 2 years old. It's true. We met when we were toddlers. When my parents were getting a divorce, I went to go live with my grandparents with my mom. Because, you know, broken home and all that. And my grandma's neighbors had these little kids. And they were the same age as my grandma, because my grandma was only 35 when I was born. So, and they had little kids. So, of course, my grandma arranged for me to go play with these little kids. You know. And I did. And that's how I met this guy. And I was 18. And he was 19, and he was in the Army. And he, at the time, was a bit of a Boy Scout. When I say that, I mean, you know, he literally was an Eagle Scout. But he was in the Army, and he was stationed somewhere else. And so for a while there, we saw each other just, you know, occasionally. But then eventually he ended up stationed in the same city I was in. And we were engaged, and we would go on these dates. But he, because he was still in training, had to live in the barracks. And so he was not living at, you know, his parents' house. And at that point, you know, his parents had moved. they'd moved to the nice side of town because our side of town had started to go bad after, 20 years or whatever. However long my grandma had owned that house. And so anyway, we went on this date. And after our date, like any young teenage, we decided, because I lived in Texas, to go park somewhere. And of course, where do you go park when you're living in Texas? In the desert. So, we lived in the southwest part of Texas. So we drove out of town on this road, and our intention was to go make out. And so we drive out of town, and we're going to go make out. And I need to pull this off a little bit, because I think my flower is going to go outside the edge. It needs to go outside the edge. Okay. Anyway, so we are out of town, outside the city limits. And this is in the 90s, before cell phones. So, and we see this car, and it is driving along at maybe like 20 miles an hour. And when it's driving at 20 miles an hour, it has a flat tire. So he's like, what the hell? And so, he follows it and flags it down, and we end up, pulling over, and they pull over, and he's like, do you need help changing your tire? And they're like, yes. It's this woman, and she is drunk as a skunk. And she's like telling me that she doesn't feel safe around, my boyfriend. And I'm just like, lady, you're drunk. Anyway, and she's telling me that she's scared and whatever. And she's like, you need to stay with me. Please stay with me. Don't leave me. And she's like completely plastered and intoxicated. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know what's going on. And he changes the tire. And I should add, because this is the best part, I don't have a driver's license relevant to the story. I don't have a driver's license at the time because I was 18. And when I turned 18, one of the things I needed to do was get all my identifying documents, because I was living with my grandma, and my grandma did not have my birth certificate, social security card, none of that. I needed to go and get that myself because my parents suck. So I couldn't get my driver's license because I didn't have all of my identifying documents. So, fun times. And he changes the tire for this lady so that she can leave. But again, we're out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and during this time, it's getting pretty darn dark. It's nighttime. And we can't leave her drunk like this. And she's starting to fall over. She's so intoxicated that she can't drive. I should add that this road was a major highway type road. So she should not have been driving 30 miles an hour, if that makes any sense. This is like 75-mile-an-hour road. But it's out in the middle of nowhere. So, anyway, he tells her, well, let's drive you to a gas station. And she doesn't want to leave her vehicle. She will not get in his car. And then she won't let him drive her vehicle because he's like, well, if we can get to a gas station somewhere, you know, it's only like a few miles. We'll drive you to the gas station in your car. And then, you know, I can call somebody. And she just was not having that. That was not going to happen. So, we're like, great, we're stranded out in the middle of nowhere with this lady. And she's refusing to leave. She's acting crazy. And it's getting near my curfew time because I might have been 18 years old, but I had a curfew. And I am like freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get home. I'm going to be past my curfew. I'm 18. I am graduated high school. I should not have had like a 10 o'clock curfew, but I did. And so he, you know, I'm engaged to be married. Got a 10 o'clock curfew. So finally, we convinced the lady to let me drive. I like that. That looks good. What do you guys think? Is it grungy? Is it cute? I like that. That looks good. I think this leaf looks a little funny, but that's just the blue dots. I like, it's fine. Okay. So there's one done. Finally, she decides, okay, I will let you drive my car and take me to a gas station. So me and him discuss, you know, we know where the nearest gas station is. I've lived in this town my whole life. So he's going to follow me with his hazards on. And I'm driving. Now, of course, I know how to drive. I've driven zillions of times. Trying to decide which one's the bottom and which one's the top. I think this will be the bottom. So I've driven like zillions. You know, should I do the same flower here and here? I think I will. Okay, yeah. I'll continue the same style. But I will stay in the perimeter this time. So, anyway, we get to the gas station and I try really hard to get her to give me somebody's information that I can call for her. And she does have family that lives in El Paso, where we were from, but she is from New Mexico, which is why she was on this road. And we try and call her family, and she doesn't have their number, and she's drunk out of her mind, and she says she's leaving her husband, and all this drama. And we're like, we can't leave her at this gas station and let her drive away. So we're, you know, I'm trying to use the phone book at the gas station. And the clerk is just looking at me like I am nuts. And trying to call, you know, family members for her. And I don't remember the name, but it was like common first name, common last name. So, you know, I'm going to use an example because she was Hispanic. It was like Jose Garcia or something. And she couldn't remember their address, nothing. So I'm sitting there. It's 10 o'clock at night. I am randomly calling multiple people. And I'm like, what side of town was it? You know, what street was it off? Because if you can tell me that, I can narrow it down at least to some of these dudes. Because how are you going to drive to their house if you don't know their address? Drunk people are stupid. Anyway, the clerk ends up calling the cops, which we didn't want to do for obvious reasons. So the cop comes and he's talking to her and they're talking to me. And, you know, I tell them, you know, they're like, how did she get here? And he's like, okay, I need a copy of your driver's license. And I'm at this point going, oh, crap. And then I tell the cop, you know what? She wouldn't let me drive. I mean, him drive. She would only let me drive. And we didn't want to leave her out there. And the truth is, I don't have a driver's license. You know what the cop said? Fine. I don't even care. Good. You did the right thing. And so I ended up not getting in trouble for driving her vehicle, which, nice. And they arrested her for public intoxication. And then he wanted me to write a statement. And my statement was, she was on the side of the road with a flat tire, and I did not see her driving. Because the cop told me, well, did you see her driving? Because if you saw her driving, she's going to get a DUI. And I don't know, like, if the cop was telling me that to help the woman out, or if he was telling me that because he wanted me to testify, or what. But that's what I said. And I did not rat her out. Now, what would I do nowadays? Probably something different. But at the time, you know, I was kind of feeling sorry for this woman because she was giving me this really sob story about, you know, she was leaving her husband and she was obviously drunk as a skunk and her life was not going well. So, and I knew she was going to be arrested already. And so we gave this, when we talked to the cop, we said one thing. And then when we gave our written statement, we said she was already on the side of the road. And he was like, are you sure? He's like, you said something earlier. And I was like, I was mistaken. She was on the side of the road. And so we gave our statement. We got the card from the cop. We get home. And remember, I'm past my curfew from all of this. And my grandma was like an insane woman. So, being past curfew, not good. And, you know, because I'm 18 and goodness knows I couldn't be past curfew. So we get there and we're talking to my grandma. She's awake and she's pissed. Where have you been? Blah, 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 blah. And I did call her from the payphone and say, hey, I'm at the gas station and I'll be home in a little bit. And so we give the story of what really happened. And my grandma did not believe it. She was like, no, that did not happen. You cannot just come up in my house lying to me. And that is the story of how, as an 18-year-old woman who is engaged to be married, I was grounded. Oh, that's right. I was grounded. because I had been out past my curfew. And, yeah. And my husband was like, she'll never be past curfew again. Please don't ground her. But I was grounded, and yeah, it didn't matter to my grandma that I was out past curfew because we were changing the tire on this drunk lady's car, and all this drama happened, and she was arrested, and we even had the cop's number and card. She didn't care. Grounded. I think I like this flower better. When I did this line, I kind of messed it up and didn't do the same angle. And I should have went out instead of in, but, you know. It's like belly buttons. Some are innies and some are outies. And I think I gave away that, you know, that's my current husband. We got married very young, and we divorced very young, and then we got remarried. I kind of like this one where it goes off the page. I don't like it here down at the bottom because I feel like there's a tone difference down here. Let me try and fix that. Maybe if I just darken up this side a little bit the way it is up here, and I extend it through, and it looks more connected. There we go. That's better. But I still don't like it. I think I like it off the page, the flower, but I don't necessarily like it off the page at the bottom. That's okay. Because remember, I keep saying to you guys that this is all just an experiment. So, great. I hate when it tears the paper. It is tearing the paper. Come on, don't tear the paper. Bad tape. Okay. See how it's like fuzzy edged? Or it's like kind of peeling up a little bit. I mean, as long as it doesn't rip really bad. That yellow one ripped really bad. Like, pulled like half the paper off. So bad that I had to chop it. So... I think on its own, this is okay. I just think I don't like it as much as, I like this one better. This one isn't bad on its own, though. Does that make sense? Like, by itself, it's fine. And where's my other one? What'd I do with you? Oh, no. I have lost a bookmark. How did I lose a bookmark? Okay, I've got that one. Oh, here it is. Okay. I was about to say, I'm like, what the heck? Okay, so here are kind of my abstracty ones. They're all done. My grungy abstracty ones. I was trying to go like grungy colored. I don't know if the grungy colored worked out as much as I wanted it to be grungy. I think in the camera, it's looking really pastel. I think I could have went like grungier. I think here it's grungier and here it's less grungy because of the pink is more saturated in pink. Because, you know, like the colors all blend. So, there you go. There's my weird little flowers. This one's kind of that way. There's my bookmarks done. I'm going to do some more. Definitely love this flower better. See, on its own, it's okay. But compared to this, it's not as good. So, I think I kind of messed up that line in the middles. And I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do about it right now. It is what it is. Out of all of these, obviously. Drink. I think I would like this one better if it wasn't so colored. I like this one. This one looks nice. And then I like this weird abstracty one, which I'm still going to probably add to because you saw me add some black to it. Right there, I added that just to check my color saturation of the paints. And I'll be back. Maybe I'll have more tales of my encounters with police. I've never been convicted of a crime. How's that? Bye.